What would it be like to meet someone in a virtual space? A space where you can share a meal or a conversation that looks ultra-realistic, without the help of wearable hardware like a VR headset. This year at the TED conference in Vancouver, Canada, I had the chance to take a tour of what Google calls Project Starline. I'm Jennifer Strong, and this is Shift.
Now here on the steering column is a device called Auto Cruise. You simply set the speed you want.
Self-driving robo-taxis are already on the road in 2 U.S. cities.
As the disc rotates, a mirror reflects the light in the way that depends on how the signal was recorded.
This is the 100 terabyte I present to you Electro, the Moto Man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I would say that one of my greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans.
This episode, I try out a 3D video call that feels like I'm in the same room as the person on the other end.
So I'm Andrew Nartker from Google, and I lead Project Starline. So it's a prototype communication system that makes you feel like you're in the room with another person. We have 2 separate rooms separated by maybe 50 feet. They're totally independent, standalone rooms that each have a Project Starline prototype within them. I'm going to guide you to one room, so we're going to go there right now, and then we'll connect the 2 rooms together so that you and I are back together in the same room by talking through those systems. Follow me here. There we go, opening your door, and then you can see that you're in a very plain white room with the Project Starline prototype within it. You can take a seat right there.
Right, so we're looking at what would look like a large television with surround sound, but that's not what this is.
We'll see. I think we're going to try to do something a little bit better than most TVs you've seen. I'm going to connect the 2 systems now, and then we'll talk through Starline about Starline.
It looks like you're leaning out of this television at me.
Yeah, I'm here. You and I are together. We're at the same table. So again, we're in separate rooms, but we're trying to make it feel like when you look through Starline, you see a person just like you should, as if you're looking through a window. You can look them right in the eyes, and I see you the same way you see me, like we're gathered around a table. And I knew that you didn't have breakfast, so I brought you an apple. So I've got an apple here with us. I'm going to try to hand it over into your room. I don't know if we can do that yet, but let's see if it works.
Almost. They got within an inch or 2 of my hand. It would appear. Very cool.
Right. Yeah, so with Project Starline, we're trying to make it feel like you and I are in the same space, and then we're really trying to enable human connection. So when we're together, now we can start to work differently, we can, play differently, we can have a meal together, we can learn from each other. All the things people do when they gather, we're trying to enable with this new technology.
So tell me about the process. How did you get to this point?
Myself and the team have been working on this for a long time, and so it's been incubated for 7 years. This is kind of a long technology for Google to pursue, just to see if we could generate the sense of connection. And we're at the point now with one of our latest prototypes where we're bringing it out into the world, but it's got a set of cameras that are looking at you and I with what would look like a webcam. So they're generating video streams. Those video streams are then combined into a 3D video stream using AI techniques that we developed, sent over the internet, and then shown on these light field displays. These are 3-dimensional displays that have a sense of depth, dimensionality, scale. They kind of feel and look like you expect them to feel and look when you look at the person on the other side. So when you add this all together, the fit and finish you mentioned, I hope it's more about the person in front of you. That's really kind of, we're hoping the computer maybe becomes invisible or fades away, and it's just somebody that you care about or need to work with in some way.
Actually, what's interesting is when you reach out over, to me, it looks like you're reaching out over the cross of this balcony and over my table. There's no shadow, but of course there's no shadow. But that's how realistic this is. It shows you that there's no shadow over the table.
Yeah, you're double checking things like that just to, get a sense of whether this is real or not. But it feels eventually, as you use this more and more, like you and I settle into a state that we feel together. If we were here for an hour and we, said goodbye, it'd be like, where was Jennifer today? What city was she in? Because I felt like she visited me wherever I was.
What do you see as the long term for this project?
We're very much, I think, believing that this could be a way that all communication looks over the coming years. So imagining, the distant future talking to doctors or grandma or kids getting tutored in this way. So we're starting to test within our organization within Google and companies like Google but would like to see this in as many places as possible over time.
Has anything surprised you over the course of this project?
Definitely tackled some difficult technical challenges. So I'd say a lot of what you're seeing are things that have been in the industry for decades, just as ideas or concepts or research, but putting them together in this way where the technology just works together. You and I are imaged in a very high quality, in real time, sent to these very unique displays and kind of shown in a format that I think most people have never seen. Putting it all together like that has been the challenge and kind of surprise of the program to do it very well.
I think it's worth saying out loud, because people listening will not know this intuitively. Neither one of us is wearing any kind of gear.
That's right. Yeah, we don't really need to wear anything to produce an effect like you and I are here in the same room, almost as if you're looking at kind of a 3D movie or maybe a VR headset, but you're not. You're looking just at a nice window almost, or TV that produces this almost hologram in front of you. So something you've never seen, and to not have to wear anything to produce that is really stunning for a lot of people.
More than almost. It is very much three-dimensional as I sit here. And I am not wearing any form of glasses, headpiece, nothing. So looking at what parts of this image are super stable and what parts still are not glitchy, but it's like an AI image, right? But your face is so stable. There's nothing about like eyes, mouth, there's nothing moving here.
Yeah, that's right. You kind of get reminded at times that, you are in a very high-end video conferencing system, because there's little things that we'd like to improve over time. There's, if I move quickly, you'll kind of see some motion blur as if you would see it on a TV or camera. There's little instability sometimes in rough edges on the edges of your body or clothing. So things that we'd like to always improve over time, and we have been. But we hope to kind of remind you, fewer and fewer times as you see this, and have you more focus on the person across the table.
Yep, face and hands, super stable. Little bit collar, little glitchy.
I think one of the set of things that we're learning about this from studying this technology is just how different it is from video conferencing today. It's been kind of benchmarked when we started more against the tools we have, like Zoom and Teams and Google Meets, but we're finding that it's much more like an in-person conversation. And the way that kind of evokes itself is when people get together, no matter what, whether they're thinking or not, they emit body language and emotion and attention, and all of those things kind of come out in the way that you'd expect when you're in person, and also in Starline in this like very human way. So we're finding that's really exciting. It's like we're together, we're acting like we're together, and then just the memory of you and I having met after we go our separate ways, it's just much more vivid, much stronger. We'll remember all the characteristics of each other, what we wore and how tall we were and whether you were leaned in or not, but just all the human kind of emotion that maybe gets missed from a call or a video call, because you're more focused on what people say.
Super interesting. Thank you so much.
Take care.
This episode was produced by me and Emma Cillekens and mixed by Garret Lang, with original music from him and Jacob Gorski. Thanks for listening. I'm Jennifer Strong.